A new sign of the times is developing. As a wave approaches the coast and expands until it becomes a massive tsunami, there is a developing mob attitude toward the church and free speech. I issued a warning about impending persecution 10 years ago, and now it's arrived on the western coastlines. The zeitgeist has transformed. An increasing audacity and intolerance are flowing through the courts, inundating the media, and spilling out onto the streets. Yes, it is time to quit the church. These feelings have been around for a long time, even decades. But what is different is that they have archived mob power, and when this happens, the anger and intolerance begin to move very quickly. If the world hated Jesus, then it will hate us. Why? Because Jesus is the light of the world. He also adds, "You are the light of the world." That light is our witness as well as the truth we preach. And the judgment is that light entered the earth, but people preferred darkness over light since their actions were bad. As you can see, we don't carry conventional light. The Christian's light is the very presence of God inside, piercing the heart, enlightening the conscience, and calling others to the straight path. As Pope Benedict said, the Church wants to continue raising her voice in defense of the people, even when state policy and the bulk of popular opinion move in the other way. Truth gains power from itself rather than from an amount of assent it elicits. The wellspring of truth's strength is Christ himself. As a result, Jesus replies to those who tried to pretend that he was not the Messiah, that they did not realize the truth. You know me, and you also know where I am from. As a result, it is ultimately Jesus in us who is persecuted. He deems us debased. He withdraws from our courses as from dirty things. He declares the fate to be blessed and boasts that God is his Father. Brothers and sisters, the Church has long been warned to prepare for the hour that has come, the hour of her last confrontation with the spirit of this age. The rioters have lighted torches and raised pitchforks. However, Jesus instructs you to elevate your gaze. Luke chapter 21, verse 28. Now, when these things begin to take place, straighten up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. He will be our helper, our hope, and our deliverer. What groom wouldn't be devoted to his bride? When the righteous cry out, the Lord hears them and delivers them from peril. The just man faces many difficulties, but the Lord saves him from them all. The signs of the times are always around us. Jesus spoke to this many times. He foretold all of these in Matthew chapter 24, verses 6 to 8. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of the birth pains. When I was thinking about how to close this, was the Lord told me quite clearly that this persecution would come soon. Persecution will come fast and with little opposition, or rather, a little possibility for resistance. Once the totalitarian machine is in place via the erosion of liberties and the apathy of the populace. If the warning of the Mother of God at Fatima is understood broadly, Russia will scatter errors throughout the world, and many nations will cease to exist. What is now happening worldwide in a new wave of the initial powers that initiated the tide of the French Revolution, followed by succeeding revolutions that progressively westernized humanity. Then followed the big wave of the communist revolution, fascism, and so on. Wave after wave that transformed human communities and institutions. Perhaps the fundamental views of existence itself. We are currently in the middle of the greatest and most catastrophic wave of all, the tsunami of global materialism. Materialism's false framework looks to be collapsing. However, Satan understands that stuff will never fulfill the human heart. It's known as the Great Deception. When we've had our fill of junk food, we'll be served a buffet of supposedly rich and fulfilling dishes. They too will be devoid of truth's nutrients. Only genetically engineered replicas of the actual thing, which is the gospel of Jesus Christ. Once again, I hear another warning. This new world order will be portrayed in the most appealing and peaceful terms possible. What many Christians assume to be imposed via threats and violence will instead be presented as tolerance, humanity, and equality. At least in the beginning. Many Christians who have surrendered with the spirit of the world and have just superficial roots in the gospel will be uprooted and swept away in a wave of deceit by this tsunami. What does the Spirit have to say? That we must live what Jesus has commanded us to live from the start. We will not endure in our faith unless we are prepared to die for our beliefs and be martyrs. Whoever seeks to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's sake will save it. This planet is not our permanent residence. A grain of wheat stays a grain of wheat unless it falls to the ground and dies. But if it dies, it produces a lot of fruit. As pilgrims, foreigners, sojourners, we are called to live. Whoever loves his life in this world loses it, and whoever opposes his life in this world keeps it for everlasting life. The body is to obey the head. Whoever serves me must follow me, and my servant will be wherever I am. And following Jesus entails the following. No one can be my disciple unless he hates his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, and even his own life. Anyone who does not bear his cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. I hear the Spirit stating these truths with increased vigor, clarity, and profundity. I think the church will be stripped naked before being reclothed in beauty. It is now more important than ever to prepare for this cleanse. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe and turn on your notifications to watch the latest video on our channel and find out the answer to your queries. May God pour down on us with his abundance of love and mercy. Till next time, stay blessed and keep praying. Amen.